Hey everybody, welcome back to Q-Tips. We are the Video Store Junkies, and we are back once again to bring you a few selections to watch over the weekend on streaming. And we're going to get right into this, and I will hand it over to Paul.
Oh, why, thank you, Renee. There's kind of been a trend lately, lately for a while now, of hey, I really like this film that they made in the '60s, '70s, '80s, and I want to make a film just like it. I'm gonna kind of ape it and all this. And to me, it's like, oh, that's fine, but why don't you make a movie that's, a 2023 movie, not or 2022 movie. But occasionally it's useful, and this following one kind of seems like it's going to start out that way, but then it is infused with modern sensibilities and actually does a great balancing act. And so it's about a group of indie filmmakers who head out to a farm to make a film. And that film is a porno, and the film is X by Ty West. And it's currently showing on Fubo and Showtime, but Showtime has now been rolled into Paramount Plus. So if you're someone like me who actually held on to your Paramount Plus subscription, all of a sudden you actually have a buttload of movies to watch. So I was like, oh wow, because this was one I had missed, and it stars Mia Goth, and it takes place in 1979, and it's sort of like it's been compared to a Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and it definitely has that sort of vibe to it. Yes, it is a bit of a slasher, but it again, Ty West really puts more modern take on it as well. He does a real nice balancing act with it. It takes its good long time building up the story and building up the characters, and it's not just like a unrelenting gore fest. I mean, there's some decent gore there that happens, but it takes its time and it works real well. And Mia Goth is excellent in it. One thing to note, it does, when you watch this initially, it does seem to have a bit of a, shall we say, ageist perspective, where there's fear of aging is sort of a major theme that at least comes across initially with it. But it's still worth watching. Again, it's X, and that's just the letter X, because that's what not only pornos were, but also unrated films like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They had to release them via X as well. So it is X by Ty West. It is excellent, starring Mia Goth. And speaking of indie filmmakers, I'll pass this to Zach.
Thank you, Paul. Not only am I an indie filmmaker, I think everyone also knows that I'm a huge sports fan. So I have some sports documentaries lined up this week, and you can actually this is actually going to be a double feature, a little bit, I guess. So these are both on HBO Max. The first one is called Tour de Pharmacy, and it is a riveting expose about the Tour de France and the usage of performance-enhancing substances to get an edge in that particular sporting event. For those of you who don't know, that's a bike race. I can't remember where it is, but it's a great little documentary. It's a really interesting insight. I'm just kidding. It's not a real documentary, but it is amazing. And I'm just going to read you off the cast list real quick. If this doesn't convince you to watch this, I don't know what will. It's got Andy Samberg, Orlando Bloom, Freddie Highmore, James Marsden, Danny Glover, Mike Tyson, Jeff Goldblum, and John Cena. Oh, and it's got Maya Rudolph in it. So this is a little HBO mockumentary that was made a couple years ago. And then there's kind of another one. I think they only made two of these, and I don't know why, because they're amazing. But the second one is called 7 Days in Hell, and it's about a 7-day long tennis match between two tennis players played by Andy Samberg and Kit Harington. This one's also got a bunch of great little cameos. It's got Fred Armisen. It's got Will Forte. It's got Howie Mandel, and it's also got David Copperfield. So these are both like really fun. They're really stupid. They're really hilarious. I think they're both like maybe 15, 20 minutes long. No, actually, I take that back. I'm looking in now, and they're both like 40 minutes long. So, Renee, please edit that out so I don't sound like I have no idea what I'm talking about. But they're both really fun. They're both really goofy. These kind of, I don't hear people talk about these a lot, and I kind of feel like maybe they're, since they're not really like shows, they're I don't know, they're hard to quantify. So I think that they're not on a lot of people's radar. But now that they're on your radar, you can watch them this weekend. And once again, Tour de Pharmacy and 7 Days in Hell they're both playing on. I'm still calling it HBO Max. I don't care what stupid thing they rebrand. These are HBO. These originally aired on HBO, so appropriately enough, I'm still going to call it HBO Max. And speaking of someone who I think is currently on performance-enhancing drugs just for this podcast, Renee, what's your first pick this week?
I am, and you swore that you wouldn't sell me out, but yeah, thanks.
I'm sorry. Well, you can edit that out too.
I will edit that out. Thank you.
Okay.
So this is fantastic because as much as you are a super sports fan, I am a super numbers person. I'm all about numbers and math and stuff. No, not at all. Not at all. So that is my theme. My theme is numbers, and it actually works out well. Let's see if I can kind of twist this in some way, because there is someone in my life that is all about numbers, and that is my nephew. And
Yay!
it just, yeah, you're a fan of him, and it just so happens that on this day, picture it. January. I don't think I should maybe tell his birth date, but January.
No, please give us the birth date and the
Social Security
the Social
number.
Security, yeah. And what bank does he use, by the
way? January 1996. A young, adorable 17-year-old me. I'm sure I was young and adorable at the time, but I was called home to tell my parents that I would be home late because I was going to stay out and watch a movie. And my dad said, "Okay, by the way, you're an aunt now." Okay, thanks. And that movie just happened to be this movie. And this movie is Seven. So this movie, this movie is about two detectives that are on the hunt of a serial killer. And all of his victims are murdered, but under the essence of, the 7 deadly sins. So someone is murdered because they have a very gluttonous lifestyle, or, somebody who lives because they live a certain type of way, and they are punished for their sins. And the actors in this movie, the detectives, are played by Morgan Freeman and Brad Pitt. And the serial killer is played by Kevin Spacey. And the performances in this movie are pretty outstanding. It's a really amazing movie. It's riveting. It really pulls you in, and it's just so good. Gwyneth Paltrow was in it before she got all goopy. It's just a good movie, and it is available to watch where else but Tubi. It's also on, I believe, Apple TV. And I think there is a Apple TV sub you can get through Paramount Plus, so you may potentially have that if you have Paramount Plus, but you can always watch it through Tubi. Yeah, that's my recommendation. Is this the movie Seven? And you can watch that on Tubi. And on that note, I will pass this back to you, Paul.
Why, thank you, Renee. I'll definitely second Seven. Fantastic film. Yeah, and to me, I always thought it was kind of interesting. It's like they took the late '60s, early '70s horror comedy subgenre of themed killing, like Abominable Dr. Phibes and Theater of Death, and took the comedy out of it. and it's an amazing film. So speaking of killers, so my first film was X, and while they were filming X, Ty West put together a proposal for a actual prequel while they were still filming it, and it got greenlit, and he convinced Mia Goth to stay in New Zealand where they filmed it, even though it's supposed to be in the Midwest somewhere. And they filmed this prequel called Pearl, and it's currently playing again on Fubo and Showtime, but Showtime is part of Paramount Plus. And this is a prequel that it is absolutely amazing. Mia Goth is fantastic in this. I mean, people talked about she should have been nominated for an Oscar for this, and it was pretty close. I mean, she does a great job. And what's really neat about this film is, so this film is shot in, instead of like a 70s style, and again, but modernized. There are parts of this that feel like golden age of Hollywood, and with just bright colors and just really just amazing stuff. But then it also it turns and there are times when it feels very modern, and Mia Goth's acting is does that too. There are times where it's very appropriate, where she feels like she's kind of like doing the melodrama from the golden age of Hollywood, and then other times just very subtle. And there's a fantastic monologue she does towards the end. But what's really neat about this film is it makes X a much better film. Like, you watch this after watching X, or you don't even have to go back to watch X, but you could, and it greatly enhances the motivations of some of the characters in that film, and I think it removes that ageism of it, because it adds a different motivation, which makes it really fascinating. Again, has a very modern feel to it, in spite of also times feeling like a golden age film. So Ti West does an amazing job with this, and they're actually working on a third film called Maxine, but that one's still to be filmed. But yeah, this one I think it's fantastic, and Mia Goth really she hits it out of the park with this. So that's Pearl on Showtime and Fubo. And talking about the golden age of Hollywood, I'll pass this to Zach.
Thanks again, Paul. I'm kind of disappointed in you, though, because
Why?
I have a feeling that you missed our episode from like 5 weeks ago, and that's disappointing because
did you recommend those?
Well, that's not the important part. That's fine. We recommend all things all the time.
I didn't.
No. It's fine. But the thing that I hate. No, it's good. It's good. That I doubt everyone listens to every single episode as they're supposed to. But no, I was just reminded. I was reminded on that episode. I ripped off your bit about a different movie, and just to make you mad, but then you didn't listen to it. So
I did listen to it. And
mission
actually,
failed.
I swear I searched on Pearl in the.
Oh, that's because I only
That's the same.
recommend X.
Yeah, that's the same
Okay.
as listening.
Anyways,
No, I did
Paul,
listen, but there's 263 instances of X in that spreadsheet.
There you go. Hey, Paul, you know what? If I was a G.I. Joe, I think my code name would be Double Feature, because I brought you one double feature already, and I'm about to bring you another one, because we actually, I totally forgot to, this was something I was going to recommend earlier, or something I was going to do a double feature recommendation earlier, but if I don't write it down, I forget about it, because I have a goldfish memory. But anyways, I'm doing it now. It's a month late, because a month ago we lost one of the most important voices in, I would say, modern literature, but I'm just going to say all literature forever. Of course, I'm talking about Cormac McCarthy, who passed away. He is the author of a bunch of books that you may be familiar with. The Blood Meridian, All the Pretty Horses, some of his most popular, but he has a couple of pretty good adaptations of his works, and I'm actually going to recommend two right now. The first one is an uplifting story about a little boy and his father, and they go on a fun little road trip. The name of the movie is The Road. I'm just kidding. So just a little warning: do not watch this movie if you're depressed or not in a good place, because it's not going to help you at all. No, this is a post-apocalyptic film about a father played by Viggo Mortensen, who's basically just trying to keep his son, played by, I think this may have been one of his first film roles, Cody Smith-McPhee, trying to keep his son alive in a world that is basically just trying to kill everyone. And Phenomenal cast. I mean, you got them. You got Charlize Theron in it as well. You've also got Guy Pearce. It's a really it's a really depressing movie, but it's well made, and it's definitely. I actually think as depressing as the movie is, the book's actually more depressing. They lightened it up a little bit, but it does capture some of that like hopelessness of the book. So again, if you're not into that sort of thing, maybe skip this one. But The Road is available. It says on the site I look at, it says the CW. Is there a CW streaming service?
Wow.
And also that does not seem to jive with the CW aesthetic, but maybe it's on there. It's also on Hoopla, Vudu, Tubi, Redbox, Pluto TV, Plex, and Freevee. So lots of options there. And then my second recommendation is in this double feature is The Road's a good movie, but my second recommendation is literally one of my favorite, probably top 5, one of my favorite movies of all time. And that is No Country for Old Men, 2007, by the Coen brothers. Oh man, I don't even know what to say about this movie other than it is literally one of the most well-crafted films I think has ever been made. I actually put off reading the book because I saw the movie first, and I put off reading the book because I was like, what if the book is better and it actually lessens the movie? You know, sometimes you watch a movie and you like it, and then you read the book and you're like, oh, it actually could have been a lot better. In this case, it's actually the two complement each other. I believe Cormac McCarthy actually wrote the story as a screenplay, couldn't get it produced, then wrote the novel, and then the Coen brothers made the movie off the novel. So anyways, phenomenal book, phenomenal movie. I guess I should tell you what it's about. It's if you don't know for some reason, it's Josh Brolin is a guy who finds some money out in the middle of the Texas scrub, so to speak. He knows that it's from what appears to be a drug deal gone bad, but then the guy who the money belongs to comes looking for him. And it's phenomenal. I mean, I'm sure everyone is familiar with some of the lines and scenes from this movie, even if you haven't seen it. But phenomenal movie. Like I said, top 5 film of all time for me. This one's on Prime Video, Fubo, Paramount Plus, Pluto TV, and Plex. And this is double feature, signing off and passing it over to Renee. If you were a G.I. Joe, what do you think your code name would be?
Oh boy. Oh man,
that'd be a weird code name, but okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh boy, oh man.
Oh boy, oh man. Yeah, because people would never look at me and think that oh boy,
true.
oh man is my code name. Yeah.
Sorry, we're padding it out because Bill's not here to add like 20 minutes of random asides, so I'm trying to pad it out a little bit.
I could try recommending another film you've already recommended, Zach, if you want.
Ah!
Oh, I mean, yeah, go ahead, go for it. Go look at what I recommended last week.
Oh God.
Sorry.
So no. So my next recommendation is also on theme with numbers, and so we're gonna jump into the future here, and talk about a man. He's been given a very big task of saving the world. That's right. It is the year 2257, and this delightful man is none other than Mr. Corbin Dallas. I can't believe we've never recommended this on Q-Tips before, but this movie is The Fifth Element, and we have covered this in a previous episode, and I was probably a little cranky at the time. I remember being a little critical, and it's funny because I watched it again recently, and I was just delighted. Anyway, all that aside, this movie is The Fifth Element, and it's just great. It's just a great movie. It's got a great cast, and it's just great. It's fun. It's exciting. It's really funny. The acting is amazing. It's colorful. It's just unique. There's so many things that, at the time we just hadn't seen, in movies, and I love this movie, and you can watch it on Tubi. And I think, and then I actually would have had a third amazing crossover suggestion, which would have been 12 Monkeys, but it's not streaming right now.
Oh no!
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but if you can rent it,
Which was actually the film I was supposed to go see when Christopher was born.
dun dun dun.
I was supposed to go to the movies that day.
That's
See?
it. That's a hashtag buy physical media right there, because the fact that
Yeah.
movie isn't streaming anywhere is a crime.
It is. You can rent it, and of course. But yes, you
Good,
can
just
always
buy physical media.
I think that's nice. So I think that's nice that it worked out that you couldn't go to the movies, and then I ended up going to the movies because I
There you
didn't.
go.
I didn't anticipate going to the movies that day. It all balances out in the universe. Yeah. Anyway, so I think that's it. Does anybody have? Oh.
Oh no, I was gonna say, because I think some people may tune in and not realize that once upon a time we recorded like really long episodes about one movie, and you mentioned this, but if you go back into our archives, we like Renee said, we spent like a whole 3 hours just dissecting The Fifth Element, like scene by scene, or should I say element by element? Huh.
Ew.
Anyways, so yeah, go listen to that if you're. Once you run out of TV and movies to watch, because they may not be making any new stuff for a while here. So, listen to some podcasts.
You could probably listen to it on like 1.25.
Don't encourage that. That reduces our listen time. That makes our metrics seem worse. Listen to it on 0.5 actually. Slow it down so we
Yeah,
have
slow
more
it down.
playtime.
Yeah. You should do that instead.
I don't know if that's actually how it works, but do it anyways.
Great. So on that note, do you have anybody have anything to sing us out with?
Zach, do you want to reprise? Didn't you do the theme from X on that episode? Yeah, I remember that, right?
No, I think I sang the theme song to Better Luck Tomorrow, which you would
that's
know
right.
if.
Yeah, I did. I saw it. I listened. I really did. I searched on Pearl and didn't see X. Seeing I was going to, but
I like how you say you watched the episode and
Listen to it.
immediately
Why do I
followed up
watch
by
it on
saying you
YouTube?
searched the spreadsheet.
I
That's two different.
to make sure I don't forget. We have like 600 recommendations, right? So I do search the spreadsheet, and then
I
listen
listened
to
to it. I
but
searched the spreadsheet.
I listened. I did. That was a and. There's an and in there. There's an implied and.
Okay.
But I really do. I really do. What are your guys' names again? Anyway,
I'm Bill, and she's Bill.
and I'm paying attention. So since you guys recommended My Girl,
Can I?
what?
Can I? Sorry, before Paul starts assaulting our senses here, because somehow he assaults more than just our ears when he sings. Somehow it like gets into my nose. I wanted to call something out actually, because we don't get a whole lot of fan mail. I don't know why. I'm just assuming it's lost in the tubes, but I did want to mention that we got a rare piece of fan mail in the electronic mail from Carol B. And I just wanted to just excerpt this just a little bit. She says, I appreciate what each of you has to contribute, perhaps with a wee bit of partiality to what Paul may say. I don't know why. I think Renee has a natural gift in her voice and manner which she might pursue professionally with success. I feel that none of you should give up your day jobs to seek recording contracts as singers. Thank you, Carol. Oh, she also says you were wonderful in Doll Shark, which I actually have not seen, but I'm assuming we were wonderful in that. I think we were the stars of that movie, right? Anyways,
Yes.
thank you, Carol, for listening and writing in and dissing our singing and putting us in our place. We appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Well, speaking of singing, since like I said, I do pay attention to you guys. I know one of you guys recommended My Girl this week, right? So in honor of My Girl, this hit the Hawaiian charts by satanic ska band Mephistopheles. This is one of their big hits. Yum bumblebee tuna. I love bumblebee tuna. I love bumblebee tuna. I love a sandwich made with bumblebee. Join in. Yum bumblebee tuna. I love bumblebee tuna.
For the weekend of July 21st, Zachary recommended Tour de Pharmacy, available on HBO Max, and The Road, available on Tubi, Pluto, Plex, and Freevee, and No Country for Old Men, available on Prime, Paramount Plus, Pluto, and Plex. Paul recommended X, available on Fubo and Showtime, and Pearl, also available on Fubo and Showtime. I I recommended Seven, available on Tubi and Apple TV, and The Fifth Element, available on Tubi.
Love a sandwich made with Bumblebee. Not an ad.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was a big hit there. Look, it was either that or I was going to do Bad Case of Loving You, which I think was at the end of X. So. I forget the
Yeah, I
name
was
of
sitting there like, you sure that we just talked about these movies?
it. Only one of them. We only talked about one of them.
I actually, it wasn't that I was disappointed about that. I was disappointed that Paul didn't hear me ripping off his.
Oh, I did though.
He
I
did.
did. I swear to God, I listened and then I
Sure.
just blanked. It was how many weeks? It was like 5 weeks ago. That's like a million years in internet time.
That's true.